Hi everybody, and welcome to another video by Skully. It's probably been a little bit since I've made a video, but I definitely wanted to make at least one more before this year ended. With the intense, overwhelming, panicking kind of year that 2020 has been, I really kind of wanted to end this on more of a positive note. In some ways, I think this year actually did end a lot more positively than I expected. I guess that would differ from one opinion to the next, but what I just mean is that there was actually more good things that came out of this year than I may have actually thought when this all started. And I'd kind of like to just sit and reflect on that because all of us worked very hard to get to where we are now in this year. And some of us thought that we maybe wouldn't make it this far. And we did. And I think that's something to be proud of. So here we are, almost the end of 2020. So 2021 is right around the corner in that sense. So with that being said, I know we had a lot of high hopes for this year. Really got quite a curveball thrown at us with the pandemic and the election. Really kind of things here and there just kind of happening all at once. So now that this year's almost over, what are some things that we could be looking forward to next year that maybe this year didn't have? Well, I know I've had a lot of people asking me if next year was going to be better than this year just simply because of just the pandemic happening this year and kind of putting a foil on everything. Well, with that being said, although it doesn't seem like that the bar is set very high for this year, and well, let's be honest, it really isn't, I do think that that kind of gives us more potential into next year. I always told people that if they were really a little concerned about next year, my advice really was, this year was really pretty intense, but that just gives us more hope for next year. So we could just take that bar and just try to raise it a little higher for next year. We could actually have, even if next year is just slightly better, that'd be more progress than this year. And sometimes in life, sometimes we only get little bits at a time. Like we get good things, but we expect maybe a lot of good things at times, and instead we only get a little bit of good. Well, that can be really disheartening for a lot of people because they had their hopes up that, to get more out of it than what they did. But getting a little bit of good doesn't have to be a bad thing. As long as you're getting some good out of life, even if it's just a little bit, you're still getting some sort of reward from life, and life is supposed to be very rewarding. So if you're having a lot of anxiety and a lot of uncertainty about 2021, just keep in mind everything that we made it through this year. And if we really felt like at one point that things weren't going to work out, well, we kept going one day at a time, even 1 hour at a time, heck, even 1 minute at a time if we had to. And after some time has passed, 1 minute can be several, and that can be half an hour, several hours. Then that's a day, a couple days before you know it, you've actually made a lot more progress. But still just a little bit at a time. So when you think of, like, if 2021 were to be even only slightly better than this year, well, it still goes to show you how even just a little bit of progress can go a long way. And I think that's something worth celebrating. So, and I know everybody's been in need of some positivity this year. So even though this year's been bittersweet, probably bitter for the most part, really hold on to those positive things and just remember, you made it this far. You got yourself to this point. And you know what? You may have had help on the way. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because when we work as a team, we get even stronger. It's very empowering to do things on your own and realize, hey, I did that on my own. Good for me. Well, nobody gets through life alone. Nobody. We're all born as infants. From that age, it's hard, but when you're that young, you do rely on people to kind of meet your needs for you until you get older, and then you kind of learn to do that more so on your own and even for others as well. So when you think of how everybody starts out that way, it really goes to show you how even from really a very young age, we all work together. And not one person can get through life alone, because life isn't meant to be left alone. There's so many people, so many wonderful people, so many great things out there. And I think we're meant to all celebrate and enjoy those things together. And this times of the year, I think the holidays really show that, well, sadly, not everybody has family and friends to celebrate the holidays with. But holidays really aren't meant to be spent alone either. So I think one of the things that holidays like this show us is that even if we don't have a lot of family or friends, we can still, in the spirit of things, kind of come together with others and celebrate the achievements we've made. I feel like this is kind of the time of the year that even if you don't have a lot of friends, you're still more inclined to, wish your neighbors a happy holiday or, bake some homemade goodies for somebody you barely talk to, because it's the spirit of giving and just being here, and that we've made it so far during all of this. So if anybody is watching this, looking at me, wondering what the heck I'm even talking about, I was hoping that the takeaway from this video, in addition to celebrate the wonderful numerous holidays out there, that you give yourself some props, give yourself some credit for making it as far as you did this year, even if you had help, because, well, we went through some tough stuff this year, and even for anybody to get through it together was incredibly difficult. So, just remind yourself that you worked hard this year. We have another year coming. A bunch of things on the way. Plenty of which unpredictable, I'm sure, but also wonderful. So with this new year underway, and these happy holidays ahead of us, enjoy yourself, reward yourself, and spend time with the people you care about. And really, really get pumped for next year. Because whatever happens next year, we got this. We made it through 2020. We're off to a good start. I know we are. So just remember that. And just look forward to this next year. And all the things you're expecting out of this year, well, hold on to those things. Because they can still happen. So, from me to you, happy holidays from Skully.